We can go back to Berlin now and join our senior reporter, Rob Dorsett. Good morning, Rob. Close again. England couldn't quite get over the line. How do you think you'll reflect on this tournament once you've had a bit of time?
Give me a bit of time. I think that's what all England fans need now, is a bit of time to recover, as these England players will. I mean, it's extraordinary to think that England go again quite soon. And we'll talk about Gareth Southgate's future in a moment, but they have a Nations League game against Ireland in 6.5 weeks' time. Can you bear even thinking about that? The players can't. I don't think the fans can. I certainly can't. Look, I think they will reflect on an incredibly successful tournament where they exceeded expectations, bearing in mind the levels of fitness that they had. And I wrote a piece for the Sky Sports app just before this tournament and said this was the most ill-prepared England squad I'd ever known going into a major tournament. And it was no criticism of the manager or the players, it was a statement of fact. Bukayo Saka, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Luke Shaw, Harry Kane, they were all carrying injuries coming into this tournament. Jude Bellingham played his 108th game in the last 2 seasons for club and country last night. He was absolutely exhausted. And so player burnout was so obvious to me from the absolute start. Harry Kane completed 90 minutes twice in the 7 matches that were out here. England's most important player, all-time leading goal scorer. So Gareth Southgate was trying to put together a squad that simply was not fit. And I mean fitness in terms of carrying injuries, I mean fitness in terms of their energy levels. Kieran Trippier had a groin strain going into that final match that he picked up in the semi-final in the first half, had a late fitness test. They were trying to get him on the pitch, but he wasn't fit enough, so they went with Luke Shaw instead, who hasn't played a competitive match from the start since the middle of February. Those are the realities. England were patched up coming into the tournament. They were even more patched up last night, and they looked exhausted, didn't they? Spain, let's be honest, ran rings round England, and I know the players were incredibly frustrated and found it very, very hard. So there will be more discussions, I'm sure, within the FA, within UEFA, about player burnouts. Remember, we've got the Club World Cup and the expansion of that. We've got an expanded Euros here. We've got an expanded World Cup to come. Can these elite players play that many games? It's a simple question, because on the face of it, last night, England's players had nothing left in the tank.
We've been asking, Rob, viewers this morning, #GMSF, if you want to get your opinions in. Should Southgate stay? Should he go? Very divided. A lot of people just a little bit frustrated that they've come up short again with the sort of quality of players. I know what you're saying about burnout. Where do you think he stands right now? There was talk, wasn't there, that he may well go if he didn't win the Euros. What sense have you got, having spoken to him over the past few weeks and indeed been in the presser last night?
I think he'll go. I think he'll go. I said that before the tournament. I thought this would be Gareth Southgate's last tournament. Everything that's happened out here with plastic beer cups being thrown at him, criticism from former England players, Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer, abuse from the fans, his name being booed in the group stages when it was by England fans, when it was read out in the stadium before the games. He knew all of that was going on. He pretended he turned a blind eye and closed his ears to it. He hadn't. He knew what was going on, and it really, really hurt him. He cannot understand why, when he's taken England to consecutive European Championship finals and a World Cup final and a World Cup quarter-final in the 4 tournaments he's been here, that he's still getting this criticism. He's ready for a club job. He wants a club job. I fully expect him to leave, to be honest. But his relationship with the players has been absolutely key, hasn't it? He's been very close with this group. He's built the atmosphere, the tight-knit, the kind of batten down the hatches. It's us against the world and us against the English media as well. He's built that atmosphere over years in the job, 8 years in the job. But I think there are maybe just 1 or 2 cracks beginning to show. I spoke to Jude Bellingham after the game last night. It was an extraordinary interview. I urge you to listen to the whole thing on the Sky Sports app, because he spoke so openly, so intelligently, and he gave an awful lot away if you read between the lines. I asked him whether he wanted Gareth Southgate to stay, and he went short of saying yes. I expected him to say yes. At no stage did he say yes. He said he has massive respect for Gareth Southgate and it's his decision. He's right, it is Gareth Southgate's decision. The FA want the England manager to stay as he is and sign a new contract. Southgate will decide in the next few days. The cards are all in his side of the table. But I do expect him to go. And when you listen to Jude Bellingham here, it sounds like he thinks he's going as well.
For me, it's down to the manager and what the FA decide. You know, I've got nothing but respect for Gareth. He gave me my debut in the squad, made me feel very at home. Someone who I think in the last year or two as well, our relationship's kind of gone a little bit past football, where I feel like I can open up to him a lot, and I think that speaks volumes of the kind of man he is as well. So whatever happens with Gareth, I'll always respect him. If he stays, then I'll be even more determined to win something for him, because he deserves it. You know, that sometimes the numbers and the statistics, the records don't lie. You know, he's been our most successful manager since 96, 66 even. So, yeah, whatever he decides, he'll always have my respect and my love.
Jude Bellingham with an incredibly powerful interview last night, you have to say. He really did open up. He and the rest of these England players will be getting on this bus behind me maybe in the next couple of hours, we would expect, and obviously we'll bring those pictures to you live on Sky Sports News. And I'll leave you with this thought. While we're licking our wounds and the England players are licking their wounds, they go again, having been relegated in the Nations League, remember, that their next game is a Nations League game away against Ireland in Dublin in just over 6.5 weeks' time.
Yeah, thanks very much, Rob. I don't think any of us can quite begin to think about that yet. We're just going to have a few more hours of moping around, aren't we?